Today we're going to be planting a couple of fruit trees. We found some yesterday, and it's time to plant them. You know, we can't wait around until the middle of the summer to plant these things. So I'll show you the way I'm going to plant them. Is you want to make sure the diameter of the hole is a minimum of twice the size of the container that the fruit tree came in. And I'd recommend going even a little bigger than that, because the sides of the hole kind of taper down, you know, from big at the top to smaller at the bottom when you're using a shovel. And it just makes it easier that way. It's a little less work. So yeah, this ground here is really hard. I mean, there's 4 inches of sandy topsoil, and then it's just straight into the clay. So it's a chore, but one of the tricks is wet it down. You know, you get a little divot, you could wet it down and go eat lunch or something, or go sit down and do something for a while and come back, and the ground will be a lot softer for you, and you can chisel away at it. I'm actually able to work with the shovel and not the pickaxe right now anyway. So there's the pot that I'm going to use, and as you can tell, it's a little bigger than twice the size for sure, but it will taper down and be smaller at the bottom of the hole. But we're going to be putting compost in it and all that to really keep this clay broke up. So time to get to work with the shovel again. Okay, I've got it down about the depth of the pot, which is pretty close to where you want it. But what I like doing is going a little deeper and then chop up in the bottom. That'll hard clay, chop it up, compost it up real good, and then put the root ball on top of that. And then you got the tree down into a divot, and so you can fill it up with water, because we live out in the desert and it's really hot and dry out here. So yeah, now let's get to work. I'm just gonna go another 4 to 6 inches deeper, and I'm using the pickaxe now. Got the pickaxe. I'm chopping it up with that and then just shoveling it out and putting it over there. See the big old clods? That's from clay, you know, I'm just busting up chunks of clay. But there is a little moisture to the dirt, so it's coming out all right. I probably take me 10 to 15 minutes to dig this hole. Then we're going to start filling it in with compost and dirt. I think I got it deep enough now. Looks pretty good. Let's see if I lay the handle of my shovel across like that. Yeah. Now I'm going to start throwing some compost in the bottom of it. We got free-ranging cows around here, so we got all the cow poop that we want, and I'm going to bust that up in the hole and start mixing some of the dirt pile in with it as I go back in. And I've got me some compost over here, and I'll take some of this compost out of this bag, and while I'm doing it, I'm going to keep everything real wet as I go back in. All right, that's going to be the next step. Let's do it. Got compost, some cow pies, and topsoil all mixed together in the bottom of the hole now. So let's get some water in there. You don't want it to be dry when you put the plant in there. Now the method I always use, I think probably most people, I'll lay it down on its side and roll it, just kind of roll it back and forth, and then it breaks it loose, and you can just grab it right here and just ease it out, and try to, with your other hand, try to hold that root ball together as you're putting it in the hole. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to get in the hole and then start putting the best soil I got, which is kind of right there. That's the topsoil. This is all clay over here. I'm going to get that topsoil all around that root ball to kind of hold it all tight. And then I can start mixing my cow pies and some clay and compost all together as I'm filling the hole back in. working with one hand. I got holding the camera in the other hand, just to kind of show you what it's going to look like. That's that good topsoil right there. I can start mixing a little clay in here in a minute. Maybe I'll put a little in there right now. There's that clay. The top of the soil around here is sand, like kind of a fine sand. This stuff right here, look at that. Now, kind of mix that in with that clay too. Just, you gotta have something in there to break that clay down. And we got the cow pies. I'm gonna put a little of this compost in there. There we go. All right. Now we're looking good. I'll just start stirring it up and keep on doing that till I get about 4 inches from the top, and then I'm going to start creating the little divot for watering. Be sure and keep adding water. Boy, when they get the root ball disturbed like that, you're better off over watering than under watering. I'll be filling this divot with water every day for a while, probably a couple months. Getting closer. I think that's about enough dirt. I'll put some cow pie compost on top here and start putting that rim up around the edges with that soil, with that clay right there. I'm pulling this sand off the top soil right here, this sand, just kind of pulling it back away so that it's a little harder dirt down there for the clay to stick to. So when I put this little watering ring around it, it'll bond a little, that clay will bond better to the topsoil. There, you got it all cleaned up. There's the ring around it. Now I'm just gonna water it down real good. When I water it, I'm gonna water that ring down as well, just to kind of soften that clay and melt it down in. And I'll do that for a while till it really bonds down good with the dirt, and should be real permanent. It'll be good for years. Go get some water now. Well, it's all done. I put one post there so that when the wind blows real hard, it'll keep it a little more stable so it doesn't try to snap. I don't know if it'll snap or not, but it's a good idea. We got some really strong winds here. So I just used a single post method and stuck it on the upwind side when we get our strongest winds. And you definitely want the winds to strengthen the trunk of that tree, you know, so you want to keep that little rope there loose on the trunk so that it can, you know, take the wind and it builds it up stronger. That's it. We got it all planted, and hopefully we can grow some pears and apples. So we got us another one over here. That's the apple tree. That one's a pear tree. Can't wait.